The husband got shot at. There was a dead woman in the bed. What happened to the dead woman? Did you just stay in the bed? They never took her to the hospital. So the Severin series continues yet again today. Now, the last one we talked about was how they got the movie Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Well, they need to have an alien movie in their catalog. Now, what's one of the biggest alien movies of all time? Well, of course, it's E.T., the extraterrestrial, one of the most beloved figures in cinema. It's one of the biggest staples of the 80s, as well as a Steven Spielberg classic. Well, unfortunately, Severin couldn't get the rights to E.T. They could get Overboard, but not E.T. So they basically said, hold my beer, and got this movie called Extraterrestrial Visitors. Now, this movie, we got a lot to talk about. So what the hell is Extraterrestrial Visitors? Well, this is E.T. if it made little to no sense, was made by Italians, and had the worst dub in all of human history. I've seen some bad dubs in my day, dubs that make no sense or don't match up with the actors at all, but this one takes the cake. This makes Godzilla movies that were dubbed in English look like works of art. They look like they were just done flawlessly. This has the worst dub I've ever seen. There are parts of this movie when people are talking and there's no words, and then maybe they'll say one word in English. What the hell was that all about? I'm sure you're thinking, how bad could it be? Well, I actually took some notes, so let's get into this. To brief you, Extraterrestrial Visitors is a movie about aliens that crash land on Earth, and one of them gets into the hands of a young boy. But before that happens, there's these two guys out in the woods that are basically podunk criminals, and another guy sees where this alien's crash landed. It's this glowing red huge ball you think would stick out like a sore thumb and would eventually catch attention, but it doesn't. Well, this guy goes in there and you're thinking, hey, this alien movie that's going to be made for kids, right? It's a ripoff of E.T. Well, this guy goes in there, takes a damn shovel, and just trashes all these alien eggs. Kills them right there in front of the whole world to see. Kills all these eggs. The mama goes haywire and kills him in the cocoon, and then we cut. This is where things just get really freaking weird. After this, we cut to the scene of the kid and his aunt and uncle that he lives with. Now, this kid looks like a sweet little boy, and all of a sudden, he shows his uncle a centipede, but he calls it by its formal kind of insect name. The uncle's having none of that. He is not going to accept that. He gets pissed off at this kid, and he's like,
damn it, it's a centipede. I don't care what you call it.
And the kid's just like, well, it's actually called blah, 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 blah. And this guy's just pissed. I mean, he is legitimately just angry. You would have think he just had his daughter kidnapped or something. And the wife doesn't think anything about it. Oh, guys, so you remember Peanut Butter Solution where the self-awareness was just out the window? The self-awareness is on a different planet, no pun intended, on this damn movie. Then we cut to this group of people in a recording studio where this guy's getting ready to record his track on this song, and there's all these people, and there's this kind of like, I don't know, Motown kind of song playing or getting ready to record. Well, they cut, and all of a sudden the singer has an assistant come out to give him something, and he has a shirt with the 3 biggest blaring words ever that says, I'm a virgin on it. Well, okay. Nothing wrong with that, but I mean, what's up with the shirt? I don't know if Severin made that shirt for the limited bundle that they probably did for this movie, but... So this is where things get really weird. We start to cut this track, the singer stops it, and then he throws a tantrum at the backup singers. Get this, though. The backup singers never even opened up their mouths. They never sang a line. But this guy's screaming, I'm saying you're screwing up. You're off pitch. You're messing up. They haven't even uttered a word yet. So they go to cut the track again, and let me tell you, you better like the line, you're going to hear the engines roar, because these motherfuckers say this about 30 times in this song, just one after the other. You're going to hear the engines roar, just non-freaking stop. It's stuck in my head, I can't get it out, and I think that this actually came with the soundtrack, so maybe I can just listen to this when I eventually drive my truck off a cliff. It's at this point where you notice the dubs are so freaking bad. It actually makes those Godzilla movies just look like flawless dubs compared to this. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's just like, oh, God. And then the broken English dubs, you can tell the dialogue, half of it truly stops you dead in your tracks when you're hearing it. It doesn't make any sense. Flow of thought these people have is just, it's almost like AI. It's weird, man. Ugh. They finally get done recording, so the singer, his friends, and all the backup singers go to the trailer and they're going to go for a weekend getaway. But this girl opens up the trailer door in front of the singer and his girlfriend, who was one of the backup singers from earlier that got completely just verbally abused by this guy. And then they're all like, oh, wow, you have another girlfriend you bring in? And so he's caught. The singer's caught red-handed. He's cheating on his girlfriend. He invited another broad to go on this trip with him. So the girlfriend's crying. And then the strangest thing happens. Everybody around her, including her friends and the guys, are saying, you need to fight for your boyfriend. If you really love him, you need to fight for him. He cheated on her. Why? What? He cheated on her. But everybody's trying to tell her that she's the problem and she's got to work it out with the singer. He got caught red-handed. So after this, that little boy wanders into the woods to look for more centipedes, because if I say the other name, the uncle's going to freak out on me, and finds the last egg that didn't get trashed in that red alien hut in the woods. He brings it back, goes to bed with it, and then the next morning the thing hatches. But when it hatches, it's disturbing. It looks like a 6-month-old elephant fetus covered in muck and goo. It's absolutely disgusting looking. The kid calls the thing Trumpy, which is just hysterical. It looks like a bear suit that has like a mix between an elephant and anteater head on it, which doesn't match whatsoever. It literally looks like two blind people combined a costume together to make this alien. And honestly, it doesn't even look like an alien. It looks like some sort of weird primal cave monster that's been extinct for like 7,000 years or something. It's the most strangest design. And then he's got the biggest blue eyes too. Where have these blue eyes come from? Is that the only thing you do to make it kind of look like an alien? I don't know. So when Trumpy hatches, he's this big. The kid walks out of the bedroom. Now, by this point, that girl that we talked about earlier, that was the mistress, ended up going on the trip with him. She runs into the woods when she has a fight with the actual girlfriend, falls off of a cliff, dies. They take her. They all get into the trailer, drive into the woods, and go to the house where the little kid is with his aunt and uncle. They go into the house, and then they take the dead girl and set her in the spare bedroom because the phone lines don't work, and just put a blanket over her. So she's in the house with this family. The aunt and uncle let them all in, and this little kid is in a house with a dead person in the guest bedroom. They just put the blanket over her. They didn't try to take her to the hospital. They really didn't try. They acted like they tried, but they didn't try. And this poor kid's in this house. He's got an alien in his bedroom and a dead girl in the spare bedroom. And the aunt and uncle don't care. Kid starts to play games with this Trumpy character, and so he tries to do a jigsaw puzzle with him, and when the kid turns around, Trumpy just magically does the jigsaw puzzle, and then he tries to play Simon Says with him, and when it's Trumpy's turn to play Simon Says, all of a sudden, instead of playing it, all the colors just light up on it, and some sort of weird B-side track that you would have heard on SpongeBob SquarePants starts playing, and everybody starts dancing. Then later on, Trumpy does more magic in the bedroom and literally turns the room into a poltergeist. All the clothes fly out of the closet, then fly right back in. The chairs go upside down and go onto the roofs. The animals in the cages, the kid's got a rabbit and some gerbils. The cages start shaking. The poor animals in this movie, I hope they weren't hurt. It was like a poltergeist. It was terrifying. But the kid's just sitting there like it's all fun. And Trumpy's just being a monster, quite frankly. More of these people in the woods start dying. We find out that, Trumpy's mama is coming back to get revenge. The mama starts killing other people in the pack of this group. After that, the uncle and one of the guys from the group ride up to this cabin to go try to get help. They go into this cabin, and there were these two bums that we saw earlier in the film staying in this cabin, but they're dead because the mama got to them and killed them. But what's so weird is that this movie's trying to make it feel like it took place in America, so they did things that they thought Americans did. Now, this took place in the 80s, right? So on the wall in this little wood cabin is a massive picture of Ronald Reagan. Like, they just thought everybody hung pictures up of the president in their room. It was so weird. And one of these guys had the biggest, bushiest eyebrows I've ever seen in human history. This guy was the alien, not Trumpy. Trumpy looked normal compared to this guy. This one guy had the biggest fucking eyebrows I've ever seen. It is insane. It needs to be studied. This guy needs to be in the Guinness Book of World Records, quite frankly. His eyebrows were nuts, and his partner in crime looked like a drug addict Kenny Loggins. No disrespect to the guy. So these were the two most interesting looking people in this entire movie. You got to see these guys, and the way they talk to each other makes zero sense. They'll be totally fine. The guy with the big eyebrows will just call the guy a jerk out of the blue. Mind you, they weren't even fighting. That's how broken this English is and this dubbing is. It makes no sense. So the uncle actually avoids death from the mama Trumpy and gets back to the cabin. Now the singer is getting really antsy because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's all worked up about everything, grabs the shotgun, starts blaming the uncle for people dying because, mind you, he hasn't seen these aliens yet, shoots at the uncle in the house, misses, and then the wife walks in and doesn't even get upset. The guy just shot your husband, and you're not upset? All she says is, guys, settle down. We don't want to get too worked up. He's got the shotgun pointed at your husband, and she just doesn't even say anything. She actually consoles the singer after this. What the fuck is going on? After this, the shit finally hits the fan. The kid needs to save Trumpy because they finally found Trumpy in the bedroom with him. So they walk outside, and at the end of the movie, you don't understand anything that happens because the whole screen is blue with the most immense fog of all time, with everybody just running out into the woods. The soundtrack is just hi-hats, and all of a sudden a bunch of drumming, and then all of a sudden Trumpy's just in the woods by himself, and then it fades to black with sad music. What happened to Trumpy? Did he get somewhere? Did he go off the planet? What happened? There's no phone home moment. I mean, if this is supposed to be an E.T. ripoff, none of it made sense. This movie is bizarre. What the fuck did I just watch? Was it a horror movie? I mean, people died. There were a ton of casualties in this. These aliens killed everybody. The babies were slaughtered in their little pit. The husband got shot at. There was a dead woman in the bed. What happened to the dead woman? Did you just stay in the bed? They never took her to the hospital. There was a dead girl in this little boy's house just sleeping in the bed. This movie was absolutely fucked. This might be the strangest Severin film I've done yet. Yes, 2020 Texas Gladiators was just off the wall, but this one made no sense. It actually challenges you to see how far it can go with you finally deciding to just call it quits. It's fucked. I don't know what else to say. Extraterrestrial Visitors is one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen. Mind you, this is the worldwide premiere of the director's cut by J. Bakir Simone. What other movies have you made? Have I seen any of them? I don't know. But I'll never forget your name now. I guess with all that being said, I dare you to get it. I dare you. I mean, seriously, I dare you to go out and watch it. But here's the best part. When Severin released this, I didn't know about this. They made a stuffed Trumpy. It was limited to like 500 or something. I didn't know about this. I want a Trumpy. Why don't you guys do it again? Make more Trumpies. How are we going to top this? I don't know. If anybody knows an even more bizarre Severin title than that, please, I dare you to drop it down below, and I'll see if I can get through it. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.